everybody, Torgal here, and welcome back to Modsauce 2. Now, last time we set up this Botania Endoflame mana automation, and you guys see I changed the look a little bit up here, and I added a travel anchor because I got tired of going into the factory and coming over. But I also wanted to show you guys, I don't need to take off my magnet, that I noticed something. Bummer, unfortunately. It did stop, so it is doing what it's supposed to do. You guys see the trails are full, and the end gate here gives the signal down from both sides, and then it turns it off all the way. But the mana pools are not 100% full down here, and that's, I think, is because I only went 14 trails on each one of them, and redstone could actually go to 15. But I'm okay with it. I think these are full enough. They're almost full. That's almost 8 full mana pools. So in case you guys haven't built that yet, you know, plan accordingly. If you want to really make sure they're full, make these trails here each one longer, and then you're gonna get the results that I actually aim for. And one more thing, you guys see here, I moved the shut-off switch and ran this red aloe wire through here because I added, ooh, easy killer. Because I added a third setup, just like these two over here, just a little bit different, you know, instead of the cable coming from the side, but, well, it wasn't fast enough. That's simple. So I added a third set, but I think that is it, because now, once we get into mana lenses and so on, then I'm going to be able to, you know, up these guys, and then probably add, instead of 3 per spreader, 4, possibly 5. We need to test this. But it is a very decent rate now. I think altogether, it did take close to 3 hours for all of 8 of these pools to fill, which is definitely not as fast as I'd like it to be, but we'll see. We'll adjust on the go. But for right now, we're gonna put a hold on this. We might get back towards the end of the episode, because there's a few things that I really want to get done. But first, let me show you what I did between episodes. And that is, I changed, you guys remember the controller was down here, and we had all these shut-off switches up here and so on. I'm gonna see where I'm gonna put these, but I'm most likely gonna make those wireless instead of, you know, running the redstone conduit. For now, they're turned off because I moved our controller up to the ceiling. It was too crowded down here in this area. Right here, whoops, one more down. Right down here we had it. It was just too crowded. I want to make sure that I'm prepared now, you know, for auto crafting, and I also would like to hook up all these drums over here. Sorry, these caches, so I have access to all this cobble and so on via the ME system. So I simply moved it up here. I made it a little bigger, and I used these carpenter's wedge slopes with the, what is that thing called again? I think it is, let me check here real quick what that is called again. I forgot already. Let's see if I can find that block real quick. There it is, Futura block. Chiseled, looks just like the ME controllers, and I think it looks pretty spiffy. I added a few dense energy cells just to make it symmetrical. This is running off the reactor power up here. This is where the power input is now. And then I got one dense cable going down to the actual, our main work area here. It's total overkill because we're only using 5 channels. But hey, in case I want to extend something over here, it's there. It looks pretty cool. And then also I ran one down here, and that is using 10 of 32 right now. That is for the stuff that we already had. The import bus for the cyanide, export for the yellowite, and then it's coming over here. And because, oh yes, I changed this output chest. You guys remember that was the chest here, because I was making 10 stacks of charged Certus quartz, and I didn't want to pick them up, so I actually put an interface here now. And because this is hooked up with this cable now, I could get rid of I was able to get rid of the energy acceptor, because this crystal growth chamber now gets the energy directly from the glass cable. So that is pretty much everything I changed. Oh, one more thing. I upped every one of these pulverizers here to the hardened version with this augment, the secondary reception call, so they work faster. Because I had these running overnight, and when I came on this morning, the the gravel was down a bit, even though this guy is already upgraded. I had this upgraded for a bit, for 2 weeks or something now. But the sand and the dust were almost empty. And that is due to these guys here having 16 speed upgrades. I really cranked them up. And this guy has also 18 fortune upgrades. I don't see any reason to put fortune in sand and dust, because from this guy here, really, I just want the diamonds and stuff more. Really not needed, but... So that's it. That's all I did. Alright, so now let's get started with our first little project here today. And that is right here. I would like to start working on compressed cobble. And I made 4 resonant igneous extruders. And we're going to put these guys right there, like this. And then we're going to set every one of the outputs just to the bottom or to the right and to the left and up. So we're going to get 4 stacks of 64 like every second, second and a half, something like that. Oh, I already have them. And then we're going to put 1 compacting drawer right there and 3 more right here, like that. I like these, by the way. I didn't know that these connect these arrows on the laboratory block. I think that looks really cool. I didn't know they connected. We have them used over here, but there's none connected. So, now let's go ahead and... Yeah, I don't see any reason why we need to wait for this. Let me... Well, I guess we'll start with the water first. Bucket, 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 and bucket. And now let's put the lava. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You guys see it's already putting that in here right there, the cobble, and it's, you see how fast this is compressing it. It's actually... Oh, I still have to put the augments. Sorry about that, of course. That's why it's only making 1 at a time. So let's go ahead and do that. So that is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And now this is gonna be super fast. Just look, the double compressed going up. You see how fast that is going up? That is crazy. Now I actually need to get my key real quick. And key. Oh, it's probably in this bag. Hopefully I can find it quickly. There it is. Okay. What I do on these is I just lock them. So in case I take everything out, there won't be any issues. Now let's take a few of these. 58. And then you want to make sure you put them on the bottom right of the next one, like this. And then lock it. How many did this make? 0 quadruple. So we don't have any quadruple yet. So now let's go ahead and wire this up. I brought the item conduit speed upgrades because I wasn't sure how fast this can handle it. And we should be able to just run it like this. Extract always. And this one to insert. Okay? And that's why I put this in here first and locked it. Because now let's say I hook this up to the next one and you don't have any quadruple compressed yet. It will then actually pull out the next one like the triple and put that down here in the corner, which is not what we want, right? So now I can take this out and lock it. Whoops, just right click. So now we're going to be up all the way to sextuple, and the sextuple is going to come down here, but that's going to take a minute for this to actually become the first sextuple. Let's set this to insert again. Oh, actually, wait a second. I need to set this to in and out. And the extract part needs to be always active. And let's set this one also just so it's ready, in and out, extract always active. So now we should see... Oh no, it's taking it out from here and back into there. Okay, no problem. We can fix that. So out of green comes over here. And now the insert is green. Let's make the extract brown. And the insert here, brown. And then the extract, we're going to take the next color, which is blue, which is going to go into this one. So now this should be only going up and not down anymore. We should get the next quadruple here in just a second. And now we got 3. Okay. So now we have to wait this out until we have our first sextuple. And then I take this out, that one sextuple, put it down here, lock it. I guess we can finish this over here. No, I cannot hook this up yet. Because if I hook it up right now to pump over here, it will actually take out those 3 quadruple and put them over here. So that's not what we want. So I'm going to leave this one guy right there. That is it. And the rest I can put away back into here. And I'm going to leave the key here for now so I know where it is. And we can clean this up again. So now we got our cobblestone compression automation thingamajiggy set up here. And you guys see this is quite fast. Every time this finishes, it's 64. So that is 4 stacks every second and a half or something. That's fast enough. We don't need anything faster. Very cool. Now let me think here. What did I want to do next today? Yeah. Let's finally go ahead and do our mob farm. I actually just prepared all this and finished making the building. Let me show it to you guys real quick. So I did say that I want to make it a similar style like this factory, and I got it very close. You know, the roofs are different and so on, but there's a reason for this because, well, I cannot have any light coming from the top because we want these to be dark down there. Oh yeah, there's one thing I didn't show you guys. And I can also, whoops, get rid of this drum here finally. That was the mob essence drum that we have collected for the longest time. And now I can put these 2 away. But I made 3 ender tanks with black, black, black. And that's what the sludge goes into. From these 2. Because I noticed that they are some type... Why is he facing this way? What the heck is going on? I've had this problem before with this one. I don't understand. Now it's facing the right way. That is really odd. Okay, anyway. And the same for this one, ender tank here with the sludge. And that is going down here. I hid it away. We might take damage here for a second. But all I got here is a tesseract coming in with reactor power. And a sludge boiler and the ender tank on top set to output. So it's putting it in here. And then sludge boiler makes, you know, all kinds of different blocks. And I have them, check it out, running through here, just zigzag up here, into the back of this chest. Because I wanted to see first, you know, what are all the different things we're getting from it. It's going to take forever for this chest to fill. But, you know, we're getting Modsauce and mycelium. So that's pretty cool. We don't really need all of this. I got a full compacting drawer with clay. But the coarse dirt isn't bad for landscaping and so on. In the dinosaur area, I'm definitely going to make use of that. Just so you guys know, it's there, it's working. And I made this little path here. And so, let's go ahead and go inside. So we got, of course, a travel anchor, just the pressure plates, and we got a basement. Okay? Now, how does this work? Let me go on the inside for a second. The grinders can handle a 5x5 area. So that's up to this block. This entire area is handled by this grinder that's going to be there. Then another one and another one. And I wanted it to be a little bit different. Not just one big square room, right? And then maybe with fans or something. So I went around the corner like this. So this 5x5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ends right there. And then this middle one here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is handled by one right there. And then this corner, of course, by this, and then that. So there's going to be 7 grinders altogether here. And the lighting on top, I needed to, not sure why, but I had problems making sure that everything is really lit up. So I just went crazy with redstone lamps. I'm like, it don't matter. We got plenty of this stuff. So it's easy to set up like this. And let's close it. So let's go ahead and set up the grinders first. Let's get those out of the way. And you guys see here, by the way, I ran all the conduits already. It's so boring to watch me run conduits, so I prepared all this so we can just focus on what's important. And let's go ahead and set all these up here real quick. And then we're going to make use of a pretty cool tool. And I'm setting them up from behind, by the way, because there's something going on with NFR. They're supposed to point the other way. That makes no sense for me. Now I gotta go on the inside again. And make sure that they are going the right way. Turn. This way. This way. this way, and these three are correct. Cool. And they don't have any power, that's why they're not moving yet. But you guys might know that there's a little hole in the back here. Let me just show you. This one right here. This is where if you can put a chest on top and whatever. But if those inventories are full, it will always favor the side with the hole. Okay? And if that one is full, then it will stop. And that's why I put the conduits on the back, and we can, you know, still make this look nice later with blocks or whatever. And now let me see if I have my... I think it's this guy right here. Yes. All right, let's check out for a second. Let's go ahead and set this one up first. We want this extract, and I'm just going to set it to always active, even though they auto push into the conduit, but you never know. And the fluid is going to be extract, always active, and the power is insert, always active. Okay, so you should have the 3 arrows, 2 pointing out, 1 pointing in. And now I'm going to have to check here. I think if I shift right click on this one, connected. On the bottom right there. With shift mouse wheel, I'm now going to the copy paste mode. So now if I shift right click, there's no, what? Shift left click? No, shift right click. I thought that there was a way. Maybe I have to click on the plate. Copied conduit settings. You guys see I shift right clicked on the actual plate, not on the junction, whatever you want to call this right here. Okay? And now if I go and right click the other plate here. No? Now you click on the actual junction. Let's see. No, you just don't get a message. So this is a way that you can copy and paste the same settings. Oh, poor guy. What are you doing spawning in there, you knucklehead? That way I can make sure, you know, each one of them is set the same way in a fast manner and get it out of the way. So bam, all done. And we don't need this guy anymore. Let's put it away. And now the rest is going to be in the basement. And like I said, you know, they all just coming down as a bundle, all with 3. Item, energy, and the pressurized fluid duct. And they all come over here to this junction, and the 7th one also comes down here this way. Now, I want to make a farm here that automatically shuts off when we have enough mob essence. I don't want this to run 24/7. Just because. I don't think there's a problem with it running 24/7. But if I'm not making use of the stuff, why keep it going the whole time? That's my thinking here. Let's go ahead and start. I'm gonna need the transmitter. Why don't I just take all this? This last one here, we need to go into the reactor actually. Okay, so all the fluids come together here, and they're gonna go down and fill this drum right there. Okay, and now I want to read this drum, and we can use a comparator for that, just like we did with Botania, and it's gonna be 15 trails. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I went over like this. 1, 2. Yes, just like that. So now the fuller this drum gets, the stronger the signal is. Until it's full, it's gonna be 15 right there. And here in the end, we're gonna set a wireless transmitter. Okay, and I already set up the channel earlier for testing purposes, but I'm using 4001. So I just clicked, you know, 4000 and then +1, and then it looks like this. And then you click on advanced, and then you can type in a name and you just hit enter. And that saves it to this. So now we got this set to 4001. I'm just going to use all my wireless from 4000 and up, and that's it. And that is it. That's the whole principle for this down here. Now, in order... Oh, by the way, I wanted to also add... I thought I had a lever. I wanted to add, just like in the Botania area, a shutoff. And I'm actually going to turn this on now until we're done. So this actually gets the signal now to the transmitter, just like if the drum was full. And now we can go up. And now we gotta fly on top of the ceiling. And here you guys can see how I wired this up. You can see it back there, I hope. And it just goes all the way around, because it's going between these two redstone lamps. It powers the block underneath, which powers these, and then over here in the corner you just need to run around so you get all 5 of them to go at the same time. And now here I have a shutoff switch for now, because I wanted to make sure nothing spawns. But we are going to set up this guy right here, the wireless receiver. And now you can just double click, you know, the frequency that you set up, and it is turned on. Now I can remove this lever, and I don't need to come up here anymore, and we can close this hole all the way. Let me just close this real quick, and then we're out of here. Bam, bam. Ah, of course. You just need to mess one up, don't you? There we go. Cool. All done. We don't need to come back up here anymore. So now we got 2 more things, of course. The easy one is power. Bam. I set this one to... I made a new frequency, okay? We got the immersive engineering power, channel 1 or 2. We got reactor power on 1, but I wanted to have a different channel for Cursed Earth. We are going to use the reactor power for this, but I wanted it to be on a different channel because I'm also gonna send items. I actually need to turn this off. We're not sending items yet. We might send items later, but we're sending fluid and we're receiving energy. And I did not want this to be on my main channel because of the fluid part. So I know wherever, you know, we're gonna have auto enchanter, auto anvil, whatever we're gonna use, auto spawners. I know I can use this, and I don't need to worry about, you know, just because. I'm probably terrible explaining this. And now we're also gonna put a conduit between this drum and the actual tesseract, so we can make use of this later. And we're gonna set this to output and input. And this one, of course, I need to set always active. So essence comes in here. When it's full, it's gonna turn off, and it's ready to send it through the tesseract to wherever we want it. Now the last thing we're gonna do is, for now, I just made 3 of these humongous chests, and I'm just gonna put them here. So the items are most likely gonna fill from the top to the bottom, just so we have something to catch all this, and then we're gonna take a look at it. You know, what is all the gobbledygook we're getting? Do we want to keep anything or not? I don't know yet. Okay, now we gotta still do this one. Let's just close these holes real quick from down here while we are here. 1, 2, and I still need to figure out how I'm gonna make it look prettier on the top, maybe with some fan blocks or something, just so you cannot see those conduits. And the 7th one. Cool. So let's see. Yes, we still need to go and hook this one up to our reactor. This is the regular reactor, and I'm gonna add another one right there and set this to private, and that's going to be nothing, nothing, and energy send only on the Cursed Earth channel. Done. That's it. So now we got these 2 going right here. And now, if I'm not mistaken, we got everything done. I'm pretty sure we do. So now we can turn off the master right there. Bam. And let's hurry upstairs. And of course, we instantly get spawns. And here they go. And if I'm not mistaken, there should not be any problems. Are you having issues here? Why aren't you doing your thing here, buddy? Why is this guy not... Ah, there he goes. Okay. They probably just need a minute to kick in or something. Alright. So let's check downstairs. And this might fill very quickly with 7 of them. Let's see how much we got already. 8,000. And you guys see there's already the first redstone lit up. So I guess we are now reaching the 1/15th of the barrel. Well, we already have 11 buckets. Yeah, you guys see how fast this is what I wanted. I wanted to have a farm with on-demand mob essence, and it's probably gonna be done. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna... I have some stuff to prepare for the Botania that I want to finish up with today. I want to make some tools, and then we'll check out, you know, when this is about full to see if it actually will turn off. But that would be cool. I'll be right back, guys. And it works like a charm, guys. The drum is full. Redstone signal goes all the way and fires up the wireless transmitter, which in turn turned on the lights upstairs. And everything is stopped. It's awesome. Now, I did one change, guys, and it's been discussed a couple of times on my channel. Do you need the chest or don't you need the chest? I am a believer that the chest will save you headaches. So what I changed, now I'll show you from underneath in a bit, but you guys see there's a chest behind it, behind this hole. So it will always put output to this one preferred, because that's an inventory, an adjacent inventory. That's the only thing it can put to. And if it ever gets full, this chest, it will stop. But it also, I believe, increases the speed of your grinder. Let's say you kill a skeleton, and it drops an arrow, a bone, and bones. So 3 items. And it will cause this guy to pause, to stop. Because the Ender IO conduit, I think, cannot accept it fast enough. Okay? I don't have 100% proof, but I'm very certain that this is how it works. But the chest, of course, you know, it can put 1, 2, 3 items in here really fast. And what happens is when it pauses, the work stops. It resets, and then you need to wait this entire idle here again before it kicks in. Once the grinder is kicked in and it's going, it will keep going as long as there's mobs. Once there's no more mobs to kill, again, the work resets and the idle has to start over. And when the idle is down, then the work goes up, and when it's up, it's gonna check, hey, is there any mobs? So anytime you have a pause, it's actually slower, you know, and that it can make a big difference, I think. So that's what I did. I simply, you know, moved. I kept the item going up here. Let me get my wrench so you guys see, and it's extracting from the chest automatically. And power and fluid goes directly in and out from the grinder on the bottom. Those don't matter because there's only one type of fluid, so it doesn't matter. So that's the only change I did. If it doesn't make any difference, but it gives me a peace of mind that I know that it can never slow down my machine just because there's multiple items getting picked up at once, and this conduit maybe not being able to handle it fast enough. So anyway, so that is this for that. And now the next episode, we're gonna make use of this mob essence, of course. But for today, I would like to continue a little bit with Botania. I wanna get going with making a few toys and also upgrades, I should say. So let me put this away again. You guys see I prepared a ton of things. The first thing I want to make is a runic altar. Okay, that is what you need to make a lot of the... Let's put this guy right there. You need to make a lot of the runes, right? And I'm gonna use... Hey, where are you going? Come here. I'm gonna use 2 mana spreaders right here to speed this up. And have them, what do we set? Bind. Bam, this guy, and this guy. Alright, now what this should do, it should use all 3 mana pools here. I never really figured out which one they prefer, because it could be that they're gonna empty this one first and then go to the one behind. I never really figured out which side they prefer. But we got 2 pointing here to speed this up. Now let's go ahead and make some runes here. And the first one we're gonna make is a rune of earth. And you simply drop these items on here, coal, stone, mushroom, and mana steel, and then right click this, and you see the timer going, and it's gonna fill this up. And then we're just gonna need 1 more living rock to finish this. We gotta make a few runes real quick, okay? And this is the only time today that I'm gonna show runes on camera, because, well, it's not really exciting, and once it's done, here we go, you just toss this, and then hit it with your wander the forest again. And apparently I have auto refill. We're just updated to 2.2.2.3 in case you're wondering what version we're running on. Okay, so, and now we're gonna make some rune of water, fishing rod, sugarcane, bone meal, and 3 mana steel. It's always the same for these basic runes. Later on, there's, you know, when you make runes of spring, summer, greed, and so on, they're getting a little more complex. They're usually multi-step. You know, you need to make these runes and then combine these runes with something else. All right, let's put this guy. And we got our rune of water. And let's make runes of fire. And it's really cool because you see all the redstone is off down here. That's my indicator. Hey, the mana pools are not full. And we should see some coal somewhere. Let's see if we can see it. That it actually works. Yeah, you see there's some, was some coal. And you just heard it picking up. So there's coal. That's really cool. I like it. And of course these down here, they're actually staying, they're keeping up with my usage up here. That's cool. Go back up and finish these runes. Bam. Alright, and then there's one more set that I want to make, and that's the runes of air. String, carpet, and feather. And then when we got these done, we can make some toys with it. And also, I want to show you guys how to make 1 mana lens combination that I'm going to make use of for these 4 down here. So you guys know how I make those. And bam! Very cool. So, this is empty. Here we go. Now, which one was this again? The Sojourner's Sash. That's the first toy I want to make. So we run a little faster, we get uphill, step assist, and stuff like that. There it is. But we need the earth and the air. So let's put earth and air. And there's our Sojourner's Sash. It's really cool. It was changed recently in Botania that now you need mana for this to operate. But you guys see I can just walk over things, and I'm also running quite a lot faster. Now let me know if this is too fast for recordings. I know sometimes for recording the super speed is not really good. And I'll take it off then for recording. But until you guys don't tell me otherwise, I'll leave it on. Well, because I like to be a little faster, right? Okay, now let's go ahead and actually let's make the other things first to make sure we have enough. Oh, great. I didn't finish this one. Let's see here. The first one we're going to make is our, where's water? Right there is our Rod of the Seas. It's very cool. It's an endless water source that you have with you. Of course, you need mana, but you just right click and it gives you mana, water. So I don't need to worry about bringing buckets with me anymore and so on. So I can actually leave these right there. But anyways, I got this guy and it's cool. I like it. I like having that one a lot. And by the way, it also works on the Pedal Apothecary. Of course, I cannot demonstrate it here because if I take the water out, then it will automatically fill it again. But you can right click this guy with that wand. So now we could actually get rid of all of this and just have an autonomous activator right-clicking the Pedal Apothecary with this Rod of the Sea. But, of course, you need to put a mana tablet into the autonomous activator because it still needs mana. And let's see here. The next one is our Dirt Stick. That's really good to have. I love this one. It's my second favorite. You get endless dirt. Okay? It's really cool for landscaping. You know what I mean? You don't need to worry about you know, picking up the dirt and stuff. And I actually, a lot of times, where is it? Probably search for null better. I make myself one of these dev nulls. Let's make it real quick, just in case you guys have never seen this. I need an apple and a piece of cobble. And let's go ahead and make one of these dev null. There it is. It's very hard to see. That's the only bad thing about it. And let me get a piece of dirt real quick. When you right click anywhere in the air, you set it. I'm setting it to dirt. Okay. So now when I landscape, let me show you guys. I'm just gonna place down a few dirt like this. You pick up all the dirt and it will automatically go into your dev null. until it has 64 in them, a whole stack. Okay? And then the rest gets voided. And then you can either use it again to place down that dirt, cobble, whatever you set it to. But I like it for, you know, landscaping, because, you know, I do a lot of landscaping in the area, and then all the dirt just gets voided. I don't care about dirt. I don't want dirt in my ME, really. And then if I need new dirt to fill holes, I can simply use this guy. So I think it's a really cool combination, this dev null plus the dirt stick. And I'm also probably going to have another dev null for cobble, because we're going to also make the cobble stick. That is right there. And that one needs a rune of water and a rune of fire. Like that. Okay? And then you can do the same thing. Make yourself a dev null, because now you can place endless cobblestone. This one is probably my favorite stick, especially when you go to the nether. I think I mentioned that every single time I make that thing. It's just priceless in the nether. It really is. It's awesome. Cool. So, and what was the other one that... Wait a second. We got the dirt, the cobble. I made one too many. There's no other stick that I want right now. Okay, so now let's go one more thing for today. And that is, we'll take a look at some mana lenses. Okay, the first lens I want to make is the velocity. That says it drastically increases the speed at which the mana burst travels. But not only does it beam start to lose its mana a lot faster, it also carries a bit less. But that's perfect for coming from down here to up here. The distance is very short, and I want this to be as fast as possible. Okay? But of course it carries a little less. And for that, we're gonna make the potency, which doubles the amount of mana. However, it becomes a little bit slower. But those two offset each other. So you still have... I believe the beam is a little bit faster than default, but it carries almost twice as much. So that is perfect for that application right there. Now, where did I put them? Right there. So we're going to make 2 of the regular mana lenses. And now I just got to remember here, velocity is with air and the potency is with fire. Okay? So let's put this guy in here with an air. That's the velocity. And let's put this guy in here with an earth. Fire, I said. To make potency, okay? And now what we can do is actually take these two. You can always just combine 2 of them with a slime ball. You see? Now I get a composite mana lens, potency, velocity. It doesn't really matter, I think, which way you do it. Actually, let's see here. I'm gonna make it potency first, so that means it's gonna double the amount of mana it carries, a little bit slower. And then this one is gonna make it a little less, but much faster. Let's just go this way. I don't know if it actually matters which way you do it, but now we got potency, velocity. That is really cool. And I'm gonna make altogether 4 of them, of course, but just gonna show you guys up here how you just right-click it. Bam. And that's it. Now, if the mana beam... Actually, let's see here real quick. Is this... Okay, we are full already. Let's just... Oops. That was too much. But I think we could check here. Let's put it on this guy. And... Hello. Let me make... I'm gonna need lots of mana steel anyway. Oops. Let me just make another stack of... I just want to see if we're gonna be able to see a difference. Yeah, you definitely... Oh my god, big difference. Check this out, guys. Compare this beam to the other beams. It's... Actually, it's really hard to tell. I thought that I saw it. But every time it's thick, it's sending it. And this almost looks like this is constantly thick. If you compare this one to the far right one. This one definitely transports a lot more mana. And we might be able to tell. Look, this is down. And this isn't. That's the best indicator. So it sent a lot more mana from this already compared to this. So I'm gonna make, between episodes 3 more of these for that. And I'm probably gonna make also 2 up here for these 2. I just gonna make, a couple more runes and then combine them with the mana lenses to get this going. Because of course I want all this to be as fast as possible, right? Well guys, that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and always let me know if you have any tips or tricks. And if you enjoyed the episode, please go down and hit that like button, that thumb up, because it really helps me out and the channel growing. And until next time, guys, take care, stay safe, and bye-bye.